Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com. I'm AJ. I'm one of the moderators in this great, incredible chat room of ours that we've built. I just got through Secret Sauce. It's a time where I actually spent about 30 minutes with the great traders that have time to come in during the afternoon. And I really go over about 5 to 7 plays on how I set each one up. My goal is to help a trader fish and find their own trades. And hold on one second. And so I really, hold on a second. So I really go over a lot of intense, detailed information of what I look for. Because when I do these recaps, I kind of go over roughly this one hit this one hit this. Because please understand, you are asleep when I'm working. Okay? It's the truth. You're sleeping when I'm working. Unless you're in this room and you've been here for about 6 months to a year, you're not sleeping. You're working with me. But um, most of you are asleep. And I'm up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, Pacific time. I live in Beverly Hills, Bel Air area in California. And so I'm forming a list and I'm putting 45, 50 ideas, looking at all the gap ups, looking at Twitter feeds, looking at scans. I'm all over the place. I'm looking at TV and I'm analyzing. I'm looking at earnings and I'm trying to narrow down the top 12 or 14 of the most great ideas with the biggest range that we can all trade stocks. Now, they could be done on offerings, they could be analyst calls, they could be earnings, they could be chatter news, they could be FDA and bio, they could be CRL letters. I trade everything. There isn't nothing I do not and will not trade. I trade everything. I may not know everything, but I trade everything. Okay, if you can understand that. Um, and what I try to do is just to be as accurate to a T as possible on every one of the calls. I give you guidance. I give you direction. I tell you where the stock's going to go, where it's going to stop, where it should bottom curl. If the market's down 250 points, I tell you how to trade that in the market. If the Dow hits 800 down, I tell you how to trade that. I set everything up so when you come in, when you wake up, you have 12 ideas presented to you on a silver platter, and all you have to do is follow the instructions. Today, we picked Myrna Hain. And remember now, last Thursday, I gave you a free swing alert that Myrna had Piper Jeffrey had something coming up, and they also had they got a fast track designation. So, and I gave you that stock at $12.65, and the stock hit almost $15 yesterday and today on that fast track. And that's not even still the conference coming up, I believe, on the 25th that Piper gave out, and I gave you that at $12.50. But today we played Myrna, Hain, SE, FN, Coles, TJX, SRPT off the CRL letter, Baidu, Beyond, Netflix, the test, and TDD. Now, the test, TDD, I gave you that personally myself. I gave it to the room, and I also gave it to you. And here was my entry yesterday at $242.81. I also warned you on Twitter that I was going to go ahead and add on the dip to 240 and under and give it range, and that's why I started a small. And I want you to see what TDD did today. And don't ever say I don't give anything free, but I do. This is TDD today, $252.79. TDD yesterday when I gave it to you at 242. Dark side gets up at 2 a.m. Okay, well, there we go. He's up earlier than me. So, anyway, and of course, Gianni, he's in Greece. So when he comes in, he's trading at 4 o'clock because I think it's 7 or 6 or something over there. And when you're in the room with Gianni in the pre-market, oh my gosh, your day's almost done. I mean, between those small caps that run in the morning. But yeah. So anyway, this one hit. It pulled at the open just like I anticipated. There's the pull. And then bam, there's the move to 252. So that was a 10-point play I gave you yesterday for free to show you what we do in here. The next one was Baidu. Now, Baidu had earnings. Yesterday, I told the chat room I would long Baidu because WB and Cena both beat, and WB would probably be the next one to beat and would have a nice move on it. And so what I did is I went ahead and let you know that, and I let the chat room know that before the close that I'd be long some Baidu. Don't have to be big size, 25, 30 shares, 50 shares, 100 shares. Stock did ramp up. Nice win after hours. Today's call was simple. Short the open. Add on any pop at the open towards 115 per my pre-market notes. The stock would come down to $109 on a pullback and then pop right back up. As you can see, I said the stock would basically hit half of where it popped, 109, and there it hit 109.38. This is not a fluke. It's not magic. This is professional day trading. I've been doing this for a long time, traders, and I know how to trade Baidu. I've been trading Baidu for 10 years. Okay, so anyway, Baidu was a great call. The next one we did was a company called SRPT. SRPT had a CRL letter. It wasn't really favorable to SRPT. Lots of downgrades on price targets. A lot of concerns from certain analysts that I read this morning, which I shared on Secret Sauce to the great traders in the room, because I wanted them to see where I was coming from. I also valued the stock at $105 on the topping, and I figured the stock would sell off after the 105 topping and should come down. In my opinion, I think SRPT should be around 90, 95 right now until they get more clairvoyant on what's going on, get a little bit more clarity. But I would not be an investor at this point in time on a long term. I'd wait for a little bit more pullback. On a day trade, I don't marry the stock. I trade the stock. I called for a 105 pop at the open. As you can see, it hit 105.77, and then a nice sell-off from there. And it pulled all the way down to $98. So if you were in our chat room, you would have done 98 to 105. You would have made 7 on the up and 7 on the down. The next one I gave today was a stock called Beyond. Beyond was a nice JP Morgan upgrade. I liked it. I read the notes. I also valued the stock at $158 that it would pop to on this gap up. I never said the gap would get filled. And if you look at my notes, how I wrote Beyond up, it was a really good call. I'd like to see this come back down to 150 area if it does. If not, look for the stock to pop to 158 to 160 and then lean in it short. Try to take it down to 150. That's all I wanted. So the traders had a choice today. If it did pull to 150, the whole chat room was going to long it. However, if it popped at the opening, which I anticipated it would on a short cover squeeze, it hit $158 per my pre-market notes. 158 topped out, and now we're all the way down. It came all the way down to $151.50. If you couldn't short the stock, you could have went long the stock. The next one that we did today was a stock called Hain. Hain was a downgrade from JP Morgan. It's a tier 1 analyst that we love. I anticipated the stock to open at 2 ways. If it opened at 20, the stock would pop to 21, and we would short the 21 area, and then faded all day to $19.50 or under. If the stock popped at the open to 21, I wanted the whole world to lean into it short and just take it down to $19.50 and under. And as you can see, the stock opened, ding, 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 ding. It hit $21 per my pre-market notes. Said it would come down to $19.50. As you can see, it's actually 19 and under. Imagine taking that trade in our room. How much money you would be up. The next one that we did today was a stock called Nates. Now, Nates had some concerns today because and Baidu's comments yesterday, they were mentioning there might be some certain restrictions on the test. So this was a great call for the point side from the upside. So what I mean by that is it was gapping down substantially. It closed at 262 and it was down almost 10 points this morning. I want you to look at my notes this morning, how the stock would open and where it would go at the opening bell. And here's the opening bell right here. And I want you to read it really carefully, how we put it. You ready? The test. Gapping down on Baidu comments. Again, I always tell you the reason behind the move. Okay? It's gapping down 10. I actually tell you to start taking a position long at 252. I tell you to give the stock up to 249, so you're not going in there with size. From 249, if it did hit, you would just add to it. I said the stock will have a pop to 257 to 259, top off, and then pull all day back down to lows. See how I set that up? And look at the 249 area. See the 249? I want you to remember that when I show you the chart. So How do you play the stock? Well, I'm already telling you to long the stock. I want you to go to stock to 257, and from there, it will have a slow fader to what? To 249. You want to see a professional day trader way above anybody you've ever seen in your life? Are you ready? You want to see it? Okay, this is not magic, right? This is what we do. Are you ready? Ding, 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 ding. Look at your long at 252. Look where it topped, 257. Now close your eyes. Close your eyes. What did I tell you? Do you remember what I told you where the stock would go down to? Remember? 249. 249. Did your room even do this? Or did you fuck around doing your bullshit trades that you always do? Oh, get this line between this line, and we'll do Amazon and MU and then for your small cap rooms. I mean, what'd you do? Pop IBO? You know? I mean, what are you going to do with that? It was short at NBRV. I mean, everybody knew that stuff's going to come down on a gap fill. I mean, come on. That's a standard 101. NBRV can't hold their gains. I didn't need to write that. But to some rooms, this is a glorified trade. In our room, it's just a basic note. And the same one, the IBO. You have to understand these small cap stocks. See IBIO? Just came right back down to reality. You have to understand something about these small cap stocks. It's not that big of a deal. You don't need to wait for some, these chart patterns. It's just read the news. A small cap stock under $5 usually just dumps and sells off. Okay, that's just usually how that's how they work. And unless there's some cure for cancer, which none of these companies really carry, it's usually gene therapy stuff or fast destination or anything to do with collaborations. You got to short the stock. You got to short the stock. And I believe NBRV and IBO, one was collaboration, one was an FDA approval. And what do I teach you at awesomecallstrading.com to do on FDA approvals? Exactly what you would have done. Okay, always remember FDA approvals, what they mean in this chat room. Okay, and last but not least, I will share with you a stock called Fin. This was a really, really, really great win in the chat room. I want to share this with you, but I want you to look at the notes first. All right, it's really important how you see how I interpret this play. Okay, so I want you to listen very carefully. All right, FN is right here. See what I wrote right here? This is if you're in Awesome Calls Trading, you understand what this means. You understand what this means. When I issue something that says this is terrible downside guidance, the stock is going to get sold off. Okay. I also want you to understand something carefully. When I underwrite and I'm underwriting and I'm analyzing, I'm becoming Awesome Calls analyst, just like you see here on an analyst. I'm right here. I'm with them. I'm ACT. Okay. So when ACT puts a number out, okay, I'm pretty confident I'm going to hit my number. What's my number? Based on what I read in the earnings report, this stock is worth $45 and under. That's what it's worth. But before I get it to 45, I need to get it to pop first. Why? Because I know shorts are going to cover at the open. Based on the report that I read, I would get a small short covering squeeze at the open. I'm already down 9. So I anticipated the shorts would cover at 50. After they hit 50, the stock would come down to $45 and under. I want you to remember the 45. I'm going to show you the 50, but I want you to remember the 45. Are you ready? Pay attention. FN. See how it pulled $9? Here's the pre-market. What did I say the stock would do? I said the stock would hit 50. There's 50. What did I say the stock was worth? 44 to 45. Where's the stock right now? $45.50. You see how you can make a living day trading in this room? You don't need to have a job. All you got to do is read, study, read. Imagine that. That's all you had to do. Look at Baidu. Where did they say Baidu would go? Look at it, 108 to 110. That's the value of Baidu. When you actually start to understand why a stock's going to do what it does, and that's when you start trading with such conviction, and that's where you start making a lot of money. And that's what it's about. I want to continue to teach you educate you, answer your questions, be helpful. You know, I don't ever want you to think inside that you're stupid or you're dumb or you don't know enough or whatever. Don't think like that in here. You know, you're in here for a reason. You're paying good money to be in here. Let me help you. You know, I'm trading live. You can emulate my trades too, but I really, at the end of the day, I want you to learn. I want you to be able to form your own list. You know, I want you to be able to create your own watch list and be able to execute that with such conviction. But it doesn't. It takes time. You know, there's these rules out there. People say day trading the first year or two is the 3 years you're still learning the game. 4 and 5 you're starting to become understanding the game. 6 and 7 and up you're starting to make profits. 10 years or more you pretty much know what you're doing. Okay. In this chat room, I don't have that luxury. I don't have that luxury for you. I have to really educate you everything I know within a month or two, and then accelerate that. So in 6 months to a year, you'll be like where I am now. And that's what I want. Maybe in 2 3 years, you'll be turning to profits left and right. You'll be consistent, but you got to start somewhere, and you have to be in the right room, in the right environment, with the right educators to really help you become the person you want to be, become the trader you want to be. And that's where I come in, and I think that's where the mods come in. And we all are here to help you, from Janny to Darkside to Fire to JT to Raphael. I mean, we're here every day to help you. Palmer, I mean, it's an endless list of people, B trades, all of us, so you can be successful, and that's really what we want. So I want to thank you for joining us on this great webinar. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you listened to it a few times. And just know, tomorrow we're going to do this all over again. We do this every day, 5 days a week, and that's why we love day trading in here, and we want you to be a part of it. Okay? So $6 a day, come on in. $25 for a day's we credit back. If you're a monthly, it's $6 a day, and you can come in for a week as well for 100, and we give you all that money back if you become a monthly. And if you come an annual, we give you back the 197. I mean, we do everything we can to help you become a member of this room. We just need an opportunity to trade with you. Give us that opportunity, and I promise you'll never look back. All right? Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.